Today I am here to give the lecture on the beam, that is a part of RCC. Before going towards what is RCC? RCC means reinforced cement concrete. Okay. As we know that the cement concrete is a brittle material and it is good in compressive strength, but its tensile strength is very less. For taking the tensile load in RCC members, we need a material that is a ductile material that can take the tensile load easily. Okay. Ductile material, the property of ductile material is that its shear strength is less, whereas compressive and tensile strength is almost same, and that is a very high as compared to concrete. So for taking the tensile load, we need ductile material. Ductile material may be anything that we can take, bamboo, steel, aluminium, but we need a material that coefficient of thermal expansion is same as of concrete. So we have taken as a steel as a reinforcement material. So that is a steel as a reinforcing material, because the coefficient of thermal expansion of steel is same as a concrete. That's why we have taken as a reinforcement as a steel. Okay. Before going towards our beam topic, I should discuss why we should write the GATE exam and what is the weightage of RCC in GATE exam. Firstly, the weightage of RCC in GATE exam is 7 to 8 marks out of 100. And if you talk about the beam, the weightage is 3 to 4 marks. And the RCC is very conceptual subject. You don't need to cram the anything. You can but only take a concept and do the exam numericals. Okay. Now, why we should write the GATE exam? Because if you crack the GATE exam, in the top rankers, top 100 or top 200 rankers can get easily public sectors. That by using GATE exam, you have to go for GD round and interview round after GATE exam. Okay. In this SAIL exam, SAIL is there, BAIL is there, many PSU is there. And except PSU, you can go for MTech or PhD from NITs and IITs. That have great importance in life. Okay. And nowadays, for more than 500 rankers, top means we can say 2000 rank or 3000 rank, they can go for State Public Service Commission, State Board. Means if normal in Rajasthan there is PWD job is there. Sometimes they don't take written exam. Directly they take it from the GATE rank and then they call for interview. That is all about the why we write the GATE exam. Now comes towards the beam. Okay, as you can see that this is our three-dimensional beam. Okay, this is the length of the beam, this is the width of the beam, and this is the depth of the beam. This is the UDL of W intensity. Okay, if we talk about the after loading, how beam will bend. After bending, it will be compression in the top fiber, whereas tension in the bottom fiber. Okay, as we know that concrete is good in compression, so concrete will take the compressive force by its own. Okay, for taking the tensile force, we need reinforcement. Reinforcement in form of steel. So where we will provide steel, where we are getting tension. Tension we are getting below the neutral axis. This is the neutral axis. Neutral axis means where the rotation takes place. Below the neutral axis, we will get tension in the beam. So here we have to provide the reinforcement. This is our reinforcing bar. From this is our longitudinal view. In longitudinal view, reinforcement will look like this. In the cross section view, side view, reinforcement will like this dot. Okay, this is the beam. If we talk about the WSM and LSM, in WSM, what happens is that WSM is valid in this range, linear elastic region, whereas LSM is up to ultimate theory. Okay. If we talk about in LSM there is a certain assumptions are there. Means plane section before bending remains planes after bending. Means after the loading, this strain we are getting after in this black you can observe that the beam we are getting is in straight line. This means the strain is linear according to the plane section before bending remains plane after bending. Okay, and another assumption is that this is the stress strain curve for concrete. This is the stress strain curve for mild steel. According to IS 456, they have taken the concrete curve like that. This is the normalized stress strain curve for concrete. And as we know that we do our testing on a small cube of concrete in UTM, you know, universal testing machine. So that cube is very small. So homogeneity is very good in that cube. But our structure or structural member is not like that. These are the big zooming effect of that cube. So as we go towards the big size of structure, the homogeneity decreases. So our strength decreases. So we can't take FCK as a strength of the member. So the IS 456 provided that 67% of cube strength will be the strength of concrete in compression. Okay, so that is the 0.67 FCK is characteristic curve. Again, they have taken the partial factor safety of 1.5 in concrete. So after providing partial factor safety, the design curve we are getting is 0.45 FCK. In stress in concrete, in maximum concrete stress in concrete in compression will be taken as 0.45 FCK. Okay, that is about concrete. If we talk about the steel, this is our mild steel. We take lower yield point as a yield strength. So we can change our this curve into bilinear curve. This is our bilinear curve. This is nothing about, this is the Fy. Okay, this is the characteristic of bilinear curve. If we again here we have taken partial safety factor for 1.5, here we are taking it as a 1.5. So we are getting, this is a 0.87 Fy. Why we are taking partial safety factor in material more for concrete and less for steel? Because as we know that the concrete manufactured at site, so there is a variation in strength in concrete at site, because labor will make the concrete at site. So we need more partial factor safety in concrete as compared to steel is manufactured in laboratory. So that is about the stress curve. And another assumption is that below the neutral axis, means in this region below the neutral axis, the strength of concrete is neglected. All tension will be taken by the steel only. Now comes toward the singly reinforced beam. Okay, as we have discussed we have to do the all thing in cross section. Okay, this is the cross section of the beam. If we talk about this is the beam, if we see from this side, that it will be the cross section. So beam cross section will be this. So we are analyzing only this portion. Okay, in this RCC, in this singly reinforced beam, there is two terms: ultimate, or we can say limiting depth of neutral axis, normal depth of neutral axis. Limiting depth of neutral axis means axial limiting. Axial limiting means the concrete as well as steel both fails simultaneously. Means the maximum stress in the concrete and the maximum stress in the steel will reach at the same time. That means axial limiting. Generally that is for balance section we take for. And XU means it will be the either case. Means one XU will be for the concrete fails first and one XU will be the steel fails first. Now how will we calculate axial limiting? Okay, that is now we are going to explain. This is the width of the beam, this is the overall depth of the beam, this is the effective depth of the beam. And as we know that the assumption of LSM is that below the neutral axis, strength of concrete is ignored. So this concrete is only for the holding this stirrups only, okay, not for taking any strength. And this is our cover. This is our D dash. D dash is our cover. Okay. Now, how will we calculate axial limiting? Before going towards, I should explain what is these two diagrams. This is strain diagram, this is stress diagram. That we have drawn from this design curve of stress strain curve. Okay, this is our up to 0.002. The stress strain curve is parabolic. Okay, and after this it is linear. So from 0 to 0.002 it is parabolic. You can observe that here parabolic. After 0.002 we are getting straight line. So we are getting straight line. And this is the 0.45 FCK. This is the 0.45 FCK. Maximum strain in concrete is 0.0035 and up to this 0.00. Okay. Now how will we calculate axial limiting? We can use the similar triangle. What is the concept of similar triangle? The angle, these both angles are same. So we can take that this divided by this will be equal to this divided by this. Okay. Now, what is tan theta? 0.0035 divided by XU limiting will be equal to this portion Fy by 1.15 ES plus 0.002 divided by that portion. Total is D. D minus XU limiting will be this portion. From using normal mathematics, we can easily calculate this equation and we can solve it very easily. XU limiting will be 700 divided by 0.87 Fy plus 1100 plus into D. Okay, this is the limiting depth of neutral axis. We can write it as XU limiting is equal to KB, where K is this. This is K. Now, as we know that there is a three type of steel: Fe250, generally 415, 500. This is mild steel. These are high yield strength. Now, this is dependent only on this Fy. So we can say that our limiting depth of neutral axis is only dependent on characteristic strength of steel. Okay. For if you put the 250 in there, then what you will get K will be 0.53. If you put 415 here, then K you will get is equal to 0.48. If you put 500 here, then K you will get is a 0.456. This is the limiting depth of neutral axis. Now comes towards the actual depth of neutral axis. Okay. Same diagram, same beam, but same strain diagram, same stress diagram, but at that time we have taken as a XU limiting, and now this is taken as a XU. Okay. So either of one will fail first, either concrete or steel. Now how will we calculate XU? XU we will calculate using total compressive force equal to total tensile force. Compressive force tensile force means, now here there is only one force is there, because the line of action of steel reinforcement is this. So that will be the tension force. But here there is two types of diagrams. One is rectangular, one is parabolic. But calculating compression force, we have to take the both effect. Firstly, we will take C1 for this. C1 is applying at a distance of y1, and C2 for parabolic, that is applying at a distance of y2, and that is C, resultant of C1 and C2, that is applying at a y. Okay. Now, before going further, we should know that what is the distance of this and this. So we have taken it as assume it is a x. Now we have to calculate the value of x. How will we calculate x? We will calculate, look this x in this. This is x, then this is also x. Now use the similar triangle. Okay. Similar triangle we can use at 0.002 divided by x will be equal to 0.0035 divided by total is XU, this is x. Okay. So this triangle and this triangle. We have taken this triangle 0.002 divided by x and this triangle 0.0035 divided by XU. We want x, then what will be the x? This will go to this side. So 0.2002 and 0.0035 we can write here 20 by 35 into XU. So x will be 4 by 7x. Okay. So this is the 4 by 7x. If this is the 4 by 7xu, then this will be the xu minus 4 by 7xu. So that will be the 3 by 7x. Okay, so we have calculated this now. Okay, now we need to calculate the xu. How will we calculate? Compression equal to tension. Firstly, we have to calculate the compression. Total compressive force will be the C1 plus C2. Now, firstly we will calculate C1. What is C1? C1 is a force. Force means stress into area. Okay. Now, here firstly we will talk about this diagram. Look this diagram. Now, this is the 0.45 FCK, this is the 0.45 FCK. What we do, we take average stress. So, average stress will be 0.45 plus 0.45 FCK by 2. average stress into area of this for that particular region. For this particular region, this is the 3/7 XU. Average stress into area, that area. Okay. Now we can write this as a 1 by this. This is with this value of 0.45 into 3/7 B FCK XU. Okay. Now that will be the 0.193 B FCK XU. That is C1. Okay. Similarly, we can calculate easily C2. C2 will be the same stress in this region into area. Now this is a little bit typical. How will we calculate the stress? Now I am going to explain the one very important concept. Okay. If this is the L, this is the B, and this is our parabola. Okay. Take total area will be B into L. Assume it is a 1, it is a 2. So A1 will be the 2/3 of A, whereas A2 will be the 1/3 of A. Okay. And the CG of this will be that will be the 3/8 of L, that will be the 5/8 of L. Similarly, that will be the 3/8 of B, that will be the 5/8 of B. If we talk about here, CG will be here. That will be the 3/4 of L, that will be the L/4. That will be the B/4, and that will be the 3/4 of. Now you can observe from this curve, that portion is of first region. Okay, that will be of first region. If I remove this, same curve is this. Okay. Now if we talk about this curve, now area of this curve, what is area of this curve? 2/3 of A, means 2/3 of B into L. Now comes towards the C2. C2 will be the area of this diagram. What will be the area of this diagram? This into this. Okay. If I extend this into this, then whatever is 0.45 FCK is there, that will be the 0.45 FCK. So I can write the C2 as a 2/3 of A. 2/3 of A means 0.45 FCK into X into B. Actually, there is two definition of force: stress into area, or area of stress diagram into width. In this case, we are taking area of stress diagram. Area of stress diagram is this portion into width. Area of stress diagram is this. Now we can easily calculate 2/3 into 0.45 FCK. X we have calculated is 4/7 XU into. So we can easily calculate C2 as a 0.171 FCK B into XU. That is our C2. Okay. Now we can easily I should rub this. Total C will be C1 plus C2. 0.193 plus 0.17 will be 0.36 FCK B XU. That will be the total compression force. Now for calculating XU, we have to equate the C equal to T. Now we have to calculate the T. What will be the tension force? Stress into A. Here stress we are getting is 0.87 Fi from the design curve of the steel after bilinear. 0.87 Fi into area of this steel is, let us assume area of steel as a AST, area of steel. So that will be the tension force. equate the C equal to T, then it will be the 0.36 FCK BXU equal to 0.87 F by AST. From that we can easily calculate XU is equal to 0.87 F by AST divided by 0.36 FCK B. That is the actual depth of neutral axis. Okay. Now, so we have calculated the XU, actual depth of neutral axis, and actual limit.